back to the YouTube channel of Pro Enzo Vids, and this video will be my Super League Round 2 tips for 2022. Last week, Round 1 was pretty good, I thought, Round 1 overall, the first week of Super League being back for this year, was pretty good. Obviously, my team, St. Helens, got a good win over Catalan Dragons, and, a couple of upsets last round as well with, for example, Wigan beating Hull KR was one I didn't expect to happen, but did. Huddersfield smashed Toulouse by a big margin. So, it was a pretty good week of football, I reckon, for round 1. So hopefully round 2 is just as better. But before I get into the video even more, just want to say, if you're new to the channel, if you're like a new viewer watching the channel, then make sure to subscribe to the channel because, the growth of the channel has been really good lately. Been getting a lot of subscribers, and I think, it's yeah, like I said, the past couple of weeks, the channel's going in a very good phase. It's going through a really good direction with all the new subscribers and everything. So, yeah, looking to grow more and looking to get to 1,500 by at least early March or late February. That's the aim right there. But yeah, if you're new, just make sure you can subscribe if you want because, I'm sure you won't be disappointed. So, thought I might just add that quickly. But, yeah, it's time to get into my round 2 Super League tips for 2022, I reckon. So, time to get through the first game, Castleford versus Warrington. So round 2 of the Super League kicks off between the Warrington Wolves and the Castleford Tigers there at Halliwell Jones Stadium, the home of the Wire. Yeah, so the Wolves obviously came off a bit of a interesting sort of win. It was a bit down, went down to the bit of the wire, I suppose. In other words, so Warrington were lucky to win, but win's a win, and they played pretty well, I thought. So they deserved the win in the end, I think, and they played a very good game. As for Castleford Tigers, they were a bit disappointing against the Salford Red Devils, and they lost by about 10 points, I think. So obviously, Castleford will have to bounce back this week and kind of make amends for what happened against Salford. So, I think this will be a good game. I think this is a good game to sort of kick off the round. Obviously, Warrington are the stronger team, of course, but Castleford can be good when they're on. Yeah, I think Warrington will win. I think Warrington will win by a fair margin. I'd say by about 16 to 14 points, but I wouldn't be surprised if Castleford put a bit of a fight in. Castleford are capable of sort of scaring some big teams, but they won't come on top of Warrington. So I think the Wire to win by a comfortable scoreline, and I think players like Stephen Ratchford and Daryl Powell, I think they'll go pretty well, and I think George Williams will lead the ship once again. On to the other game on the Friday, it's the Wigan Warriors versus the Leeds Rhinos at Wigan's home ground, DW Stadium. Look, I watched the game with Wigan Warriors versus Hull KR last weekend. Obviously, I tipped against Wigan. I tipped Hull KR to win, which I was definitely proven wrong in. So, yeah, good to see Wigan turn up and get a win. And, yeah, I thought some of the players played pretty well. I thought Kate Cuss had a very strong game in his first official sort of Super League match for Wigan. Obviously, I'm a Manly supporter, so obviously I back Kate Cuss all the way. And, yeah, I was pretty impressed with how he went. And so was the other players in the back line, like Jake Bibby and Liam Marshall, both scoring tries against Hull KR. So, all in all, it was a good performance by Wigan Warriors. I was pretty impressed by them, and they definitely shocked me quite a bit, that's for sure. As for Leeds Rhinos, I was just touching on the game before with Warrington Castleford. Leeds Rhinos were very unlucky to lose to Warrington 22-20 by 2 points. Leeds were pretty good, I thought, in that game as well, but, I guess Warrington were just a better team in the end, only just. So it should be a good game, this one. I think this is a very interesting matchup, but for me, I will throw a bit more trust into the Leeds Rhinos for this one. I think the Rhinos are due for a win, and I think they're due for a bit of a bounce back. They'll be a bit disappointed to lose that one against Warrington, so I think they'll get the win this week, and I think they'll win by about 10 to 8 points. Nothing by too much, but I think they'll get the win in the end. So Leeds Rhinos to defeat Wigan on Friday. On to the other game, it's Hull FC versus my club St. Helens at MKM Stadium, where it's Hull FC's home ground. Yeah, look, obviously Hull FC, I'll start with first quickly. They nearly choked against Wakefield Trinity last week. I tipped Hull FC to win quite comfortably, actually, from memory, but, they nearly lost to Wakefield, which has been embarrassing, but, it happens. Can't win them all by too much. I guess they won, which is good, but one of the only downsides is that Jake Connor, obviously the fullback for Hull FC, is going to miss a couple of weeks with I believe it's a suspension or injury, but I think it's suspension because I think he did a dangerous tackle or something. And he'll be out for a while, so that's a very big loss for for Hull FC and Jake Connor, of course, because obviously when he's there, when he's there, they obviously are a pretty good side. So I guess that they lose a bit of dimension with him not being in that side. As for my team, St. Helens, very impressive win over Catalan Dragons. I guess watching that game was another reason why Saints are going to be another top sort of contender team again this year. They're going to be right up there for the title, I reckon, and. I got to say, guys like, what's his name? Guys like Johnny Lomax were very good. Joe Batchelor were very good. It was a good performance by everyone. I thought Jack Wellesby was all right at fullback. So, St. Helens played pretty well, I thought. So, as a Saints fan, I was pretty happy with the result. My tip for this game, well, I think it's pretty obvious. I will go with Saints to win, only because they've got a better side, and I think, they'll probably just edge out Hull FC. So, I'll probably tip us to win by about 12 points at least. So, maybe like a scoreline of... rough. I think maybe, 24 points to 12 might be a fair scoreline or something like that, I reckon. So, I think Saints will win either way. So, St. Helens win by about 12. On to the other game. It's Huddersfield Giants versus Hull KR at the home ground of Huddersfield, being the John Smith Stadium. So, obviously, last week, Huddersfield... they obviously had a very dominant win over Toulouse, which was pretty much expected, of course, because I thought, Toulouse don't really have much. They don't really have much of a recognised team, whereas Huddersfield looked pretty strong coming into this year. Got a very fair team with a lot of good players. So I sort of expected Huddersfield to put a bit of a scoreline on, but not by that much exactly. But it was a good win by Huddersfield, so obviously they'll take a lot of confidence out of that win. And as for Hull KR, well, Hull KR were very disappointing. They're probably the most disappointing team of the round last week in round one. I expected them to beat Wigan Warriors by pretty well, and they didn't. They obviously lost, and it was a bit unfortunate, I guess. So maybe next time, or maybe this game will turn up and be a bit better and not choke. We'll have to wait and see. But it'd be very interesting, I think. And my tip for this game, it's very tough because it's tough to sort of tell, but I believe this week, I think Hull KR will turn up and get the win. I think this is the time they'll turn up and get a win. I think they've got a bit more to show, a bit more to give than what Huddersfield do. I might be wrong in saying that, but I think, this week they'll turn up and definitely put in a much more committed performance. So I've got Hull KR to win by about 6 points. On to the last game on the Saturday. It's Catalan Dragons versus Wakefield Trinity at the home ground of the Dragons, being State Brutus Stadium. So, I think Catalans last week were a bit disappointing, obviously. Obviously I'm a St. Helens fan, and obviously I expected us to win, but, if you're the runners-up from last year, then I think, you would have been a bit better against the premiers, or the champions, I should say, for the Super League in a rematch, especially. I thought they'll show a bit more fight. Especially it being St. Helens, Catalan Dragons. So I would say that's very disappointing and a big letdown to their fans into the club by losing by about 20 points. And in fact, if St. Helens got all their goals, they would have nearly put 40 on them. So that's been embarrassing for Catalan's behalf. But as for the Wakefield Trinity, Wakefield, they lost, just to Hull FC. They were a bit unlucky there. And I'm sure this week, they'll want to probably try and, get a win this week. They were pretty good, actually. They did better than I thought. So will this be the week they turn up and win? We'll have to wait and see. But look, I think for this game, it's pretty fair that I am confident. I am confident that this week, Catalan Dragons will turn up and get a win. I think Sam Tompkins, had a pretty bad game against St. Helens, and I think he'll have a better game this week for the Catalan Dragons. So I will go Catalans to win by about... I think by about 14 to 16 points. I am confident they're going to have a big win, I think, and they'll turn up and show why they are still in title contention this year. So Catalans to win. And on to the very last game of round 2 for the Super League. It's Salford Red Devils versus Toulouse Olympique at AJ Bell Stadium, the home of the Salford Red Devils. Salford were very impressive against Castleford. They won by about 10 points, and they were very good. Very dominant performance. I didn't really watch much of that game because... I was more watching the Wigan and Hull KR game, and obviously I couldn't really watch Salford play only because there was, it was on Sky Sports, and obviously I can't get Sky Sports, so that's why I didn't really watch much of Salford play, but apparently they were very good, so I think this week they should turn up with the same mentality and a winning mentality and should go well again. As for Toulouse Olympique, well, Toulouse, not the entrance they want in the Super League, unfortunately. Obviously, they were, very disappointing against Huddersfield Giants, losing 42 points to 6, but again, I guess that's, obviously a sign of a new team coming in, and obviously it's going to take a bit of time for them to gel, etc. So hopefully Toulouse can sort of get their act together soon and maybe play a bit more better, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, look, my tip for this game, I think Salford will win. I'm pretty confident saying that Salford will get the win this week. I think Salford look very strong and definitely are surprising a couple of people so far, that's for sure. So Salford to win, I reckon by about 10 to 8 points roughly. And I think, I think someone that's going to have a big game is Tim Laffey, I reckon, the former NRL player. If he plays, I reckon Tim Laffey's in for a big game. But everyone, that brings an end to my Round 2 Super League tips for 2022. Everyone, thanks for watching my Super League Round 2 tips for 2022. I hope you'll enjoy it. Make sure to let me know your tips for this weekend in the comment section down below. And yeah, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will catch you all in the very next one.